Good evening and welcome to the Monday, July 11, Muscatine School District Board of Education meeting. Madam Secretary, can you please take roll and help us determine the quorum, please?
Sure. Matt Connard. Karen Cooney. Here. John DeBeat.
Here.
Ken LaRue.
Here.
Mike Morgan.
Here.
Lindsay Phillips.
Here.
Denny Shore.
Here.
A quorum is present.
Thank you. Next item is the Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight, Laura McDonald's fourth grade Muscatine Park class will lead us into the pledge. Can we please stand? Thank you for grade Muscatine Park class. Thank you for leading us tonight. The next item is Citizen Speaks. If anyone in the audience wants to address the board, please step to the podium, state your name and address. You will have 3 minutes to address the board. Per board policy, we cannot respond or engage in any discussion. Okay, so keep moving. Next item is the board targets, goals, and report. Item A, students will graduate prepared for post-secondary option, and under this item, we will have a presentation tonight. Item B, Muscatine schools will utilize resources effectively and equitably. And item C, students will learn in a positive and supportive environment. At this point, we'll go to item A, students will graduate prepared for post-secondary option. And I would like to call on Mr. Jesse Garcia to come forward and start his presentation, please.
Thank you very much.
This has a little bit of different information than
Thank
what
you.
I'm going to cover based on the PowerPoint, but overall it goes together.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, good evening, everybody. I see some familiar faces here. I see some that I don't, so I'll start from the top. My name is Jesse Garcia. I'm the Latin Outreach Coordinator for Iowa State Extension in Muscatine County. I'm a first-generation citizen and student. I'm a native to Muscatine. I attended Muscatine Community School District my entire life, followed up at Muscatine Community College with an AA, and I'm currently trying to get another AA in a different program. What I'm here to talk to you about tonight is Salir Adelante. We were lucky that when we implemented the program this year, we were able to get this video made. The reason it concerns all of you is because the school district is a third partner in implementing this program. So I'll get into a little bit more of the details of that after, but the video presentation here covers a lot of the base information. Salir Adelante means to get ahead, not necessarily ahead of everybody else, but to get ahead for yourself and to really make sure you take advantage of all your opportunities and to fulfill your potential to the max. Salir Adelante is set up as a 6-week workshop series. We bring families in, students, youth, and their parents. We split them up initially, youth work together, parents work together, and then we bring them back at the end for a family session. Each week, we explore a new topic as it relates to the education system and post-secondary, exploring financial resources, exploring financial aid, exploring resources within the community, scholarships, and really breaking that down into digestible pieces that everyone in the family can understand in order to be on the same page and try to accomplish their goals.
Pues estar así más conectado con la familia.
a poder hablar así con la familia, pues de cosas que han pasado en tu vida, o pues más así, estar más conectados uno al otro, más juntos.
Como padre, lo más principal es conocer mejor a mi hijo. Eso queremos para él, que no nos vea como nosotros vimos a los padres, como enemigos. No somos así. Queremos lo mejor para él. Y salir adelante, lo va a ayudar a él a salir adelante.
Lo más importante para mí del programa es todo lo que abarca el programa y todo lo que viene después del programa. Todos los programas que están abiertos para nosotros como padres.
A lot of the times as a community, a lot of us slip through the cracks because we don't have the adequate resources or simply someone around who might know what it means to file a FAFSA or how to apply for college. That's really the encompassing aspect of the program and what we aim to do here, making sure that no kid is getting left behind and that every family has all the resources and information so that they can salir adelante.
Pues mi sueño es de que apoyar a mi hijo Miguel, pues para que él cumpla sus sueños. Y si él quiere, pues sí, puede salir adelante echándole ganas.
Tal vez fue algo frustrante para la mamá del video. A lot of us share a story in which our families, our parents sacrifice a lot just to give us an opportunity. And Salir Adelante really just encompasses the fact that you need this material, you need this information, you need this knowledge, you need these resources in order to do so, in order to salir adelante. Our programming does that. It starts off at a base level where both parents and students can understand and hopefully fulfill their dreams as a family. So, like I said, that covers a lot of the base of what the initial program is, and that's where everything started in Muscatine. Like I said, some of you that I don't recognize, maybe you know it as Juntos. So it all started kind of with some research in about 2015. Then the program Juntos was out of Oklahoma State University, got piloted in a couple of places in Iowa. Muscatine and Polk counties were the sites. Through different funding sources like the Forward Driving Dreams grant and the help of LULAC, we were able to extend how long Juntos has been in Muscatine. It started out as about a 5-year project. After demonstrating the need and the accomplishments we had made, we were able to bring in the school district as a partner, as well as Muscatine Community College, in order to try to build a complete pipeline from middle school to a base level of post-secondary education. At about that time, it became a need to have a full-time position, and in order to, or I guess to what goes along with that is the wraparound components that we've built to the program. So not only do we offer the 6-week program to Muscatine school citizens, but we wrap it around with a 4-H program that is the partnership with Iowa State that then allows us to do different aspects such as success coaching, college and career readiness type of education and material, and just being around for homework help. A lot of that also goes to the partnership with Muscatine schools and being allowed to enter the building and access the students, have streams of communication, not only with them and their families. The accessibility to that and vice versa is a crucial aspect to this, because a lot of the time it's just being an extra person around when they need it. And luckily, because of the way the partnerships have formed, we are able to do that. We now have students starting to get into Muscatine Community College. We're barely starting to see that transition. So the same goes for that relationship and those connections with Dr. DeWinter out there and some of yourselves, that knowing who is out there and everybody kind of being on the same page about what the program is trying to accomplish just helps everything flow tremendously and allows us to accomplish a lot of the things you see on the pamphlet in front of you. Like I said, we just began graduating students out of our first and second cohort that we had back in about 17, 18. Unfortunately, due to COVID, our 20 and 21 numbers and a little bit of that data got a little skewed. But those were our first two graduating classes. And out of the data that we were able to retrieve from those two classes, 62% of the students that had worked with us enrolled in some sort of form of post-secondary education. To continue just with numbers, over half of the population of MHS identifies as Latin or Hispanic. And the overall graduation or post-secondary enrollment rate for all students was at about 50 for the year of 21. So the students in our program or that have been involved in the program that we offer show to attend some sort of post-secondary education at a little bit higher percent than what the general is. I love showing the numbers, but I also love showing some of the actual people behind the numbers. We have a student here with us today. Her name is Catherine. Catherine is one of the students that is in those first two classes, so she started the program in middle school, is now graduated from MHS, finished her freshman year at MCC. Along with that, she is my assistant for the program. She is the vice president of the MCC LULAC Council. She is to be the PTK vice president. She is involved with student leadership, and through all those connections, she got a communications internship with EICC this summer. So she's here with us. Like I said, if you guys want to talk to her, I'll let her maybe answer some questions at the end. And I don't like to put words in people's mouths, but Catherine is a person who, when I met her, I initially thought she was very shy, and then as I got to know her, I saw the leadership skills that had been instilled in her through what the program aims to do. Every time I go to a conference or every time we go to some sort of event, the goal that they are programming is to build civic students and people in the community who are not only good students but also want to be involved and are also willing to step into a leadership role to help accomplish a goal, whether it's theirs or somebody else's. As far as the future goes, we have a really solid base right now. I did some research this summer, and I found that there is a lot to be said about Latin culture and how it affects young children. I spent quite some time this spring trying to hear more about the dual language program and how that might be a place to tie something in. Because what my end goal would be is to increase Latin parent involvement in education. There's a lot of info in that, but essentially just the way that they perceive what is supposed to be happening at school and, making it level playing field to where they know how much it is also their commitment to be involved in their child's education. And those are the two parts that we had discussed with my supervisors and who we could possibly reach out to begin those conversations for maybe next year or some time in the future. But for right now, we've been focusing in STEM, business, civic engagement, leadership. The backside of the paper that I handed you has a list of all the civic engagement opportunities we took a part in this year. A lot of them were student-led, their ideas. I was just the person making phone calls and being around. And I'll be honest with you guys, I felt tired, and then after making it, I got tired again because all of those days were, getting up early, going out all the way somewhere, and a big piece of that goes out to the transportation that MCSD also helps us fill in with that part. But yeah, a lot of long days, but a lot of great experiences that I know ultimately I do them because I wish I had them. And I know or feel that they make a difference, and I believe that they make a difference to these students. And I appreciate your help for helping us get here. So at this time, I do have some students here, but I also don't want to take up all your night, so it'll be really up to you how you'd like to proceed at this point.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia, and we would love, I'm sure I would love, and the board would love to hear some of the students here and share their experience. And Catherine, I know her by face. We talked briefly at MCC too. So great leadership here. So please feel free to come over to the podium and share some of your stories with us
Sure, Catherine.
and with our audience too. So.
Would you like to come up first?
Jesse, while she's moving forward, you mentioned how many kids had enrolled in post-secondary. Are there classes that have possibly graduated, or do you have numbers that have how many kids have, or what percentage of kids have graduated from a post-secondary?
No, because we would be in our
Okay, so they're just not there yet.
first year. Yeah. So as Catherine is about to be a sophomore, the class before that would have been the class graduating right now, but most of those students, their senior year was the year of COVID, and like I said, that kind of
So you're not pulling Juntos numbers in, this is just this program alone?
It is the same Juntos program. Yeah, we just haven't gotten there in terms of time on a long-term basis, I guess.
That would be a good number to track.
Okay.
I think from our standpoint of the kids that enroll, and it's not just Muscatines, but across the nation, I think that kids that enroll in post-secondary I want to say it's less than 40%. I think it's between 35 and 40% of the kids that enroll actually graduate. So
All right.
it's a good goal to set.
Yeah. And Catherine, would you guys like to?
Please, share with us any of your success stories or about your experience. As a board, would love to hear some stories from you.
Yeah, so this program has definitely helped me a lot. I would not be as involved as I am in school now if it weren't for this program because of all the connections I've built. I'm a first generation college student, so my parents don't know anything about college. And I remember when I was trying to sign up for college and everything, I had no idea where to start. But luckily, through the people I met through this program, they helped me and I got involved. And now, because of that, I'm in LULAC, and it helped me make new friends. And now I'm just more motivated to continue with my education. And it's just been a lot of help, especially because I don't know, sometimes I feel lost, but I built a great support system through this program, and now I can feel I can actually continue.
I'm a bit naive, but what's LULAC? What's the acronym for?
LULAC is a League of United American Citizens, and we just kind of do activities on campus. We had some of the activities we've had in the past are for Dia de los Muertos, and just sharing our culture with everyone, and just so everyone can learn.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Question for you has to do with parent involvement. How do you feel as if your parents, where were they during this process? Do you feel that your parents were supportive? And if so, and everything, how can we duplicate, some of that kind of success area for not only your group, but also perhaps even for some of our group areas as well?
My parents were definitely supportive. They definitely encouraged me to continue with college. They just didn't have the knowledge to actually lead me through the entire process. So that was in the way that this program was helpful for me, because they helped me get started and just figure everything out from there.
Thank you.
Anybody else would like to? Well, thank you for sharing your inspirational story with us, and great program. Thank you for visiting with us tonight, Mr. Garcia. We really appreciate the information and the program and what you are doing for the students to become more successful and become part of the leadership, of the future leadership of our community. Thank you. I don't know if anybody else would like to share anything with us.
I see they have Lego or
projects or
something.
something.
Yeah.
They have a
Would you like us to get into it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you have time, I planned it out to have you guys kind of cap off our day.
Go.
Okay?
All right, let's do it.
So what we did today was through 4-H programming, it was called Building Blocks of Leadership. So throughout the school year, we had been doing these activities with Legos to build up leadership. Today was built a little bit more of entrepreneurship. We hosted it at Musser Public Library, and then we took a field trip around downtown Muscatine. We stopped into the Chamber of Commerce and were able to get a presentation from them, as well as speak to some local entrepreneurs, and get a little bit of inspiration. So from there, we broke out into teams, brainstormed about a audience we would like to serve and what type of product we would like to do, and then we kind of planned it all out, made some marketing designs, and built out of Legos what the students felt should be a need or is something missing that they could bring to Muscatine. So first up, I'm going to bring out the Froyo shop. So so this was I don't know if you guys don't know what Froyo is. It's frozen yogurt, so it's like ice cream, a little bit lighter, a little bit healthier, right? But you can put a bunch of toppings on it. It's still really good. They identified it as a need for the community. I'll let you talk a little bit more about where, Vanessa, or why that was the idea you guys
I
got.
had 2 other teammates. I had 2 other people that were with me, but they were busy. So this is like our poster advertisement, right? This would be like our little thing. It has like the Muscatine Bridge. You know, it says Muscatine, Iowa. Has a little like hangout area, TV, games, I guess. And this is like the little layout of what it would look like. You know, very realistic, as you can see. And this is the door. This is the door right here, where you enter. This is all the flavors and toppings. You know, as soon as you get there, you want to just get what you want to get. So then you pay over here, and then after you're done paying, these are games right here. It's the arcade, as promised. And then this is the little pool table. And then right here, it's the TV. There's a person in there. I hope you guys can. I swear, there's a person in there. This is them.
Customer or worker?
It's an ad, actually.
Oh.
Going on right now. He's got like a weight.
Oh, on the TV. I thought you were talking about the person that was in there. I didn't know if that was a customer or a worker. All right.
He's enjoying his time there.
Okay.
Got his little mystery flavor right there. It's all rainbows. And yeah, it's where you sit, a little table, a chair, a flower chair.
And why Froyo, Vanessa?
Because we don't have one here. Why not? I feel like a lot of people like it. A lot of people could go there for all ages, for everybody. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and the other one was Treehouse Therapy.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Okay. So our idea was treehouse therapy.
Can I just ask you to come closer
Just a
to the
little closer.
mic so that our audience will also hear
So
that?
our idea was Treehouse Therapy. It was a funded organization so people can come in free of charge, but we accept donations.
And this would be for people who are stressful or if they want a quiet place to relax or to keep a calm space if they want.
And what made you guys think about this idea?
Because there's nothing like this here in town. So I feel like a lot of kids or teenagers or any age would be able to go or would like to go because it would be a calming, peaceful place.
Is there anything like this anyplace else? Or is this just like your initial idea? This is your brainstorm?
There's nothing like this, but there's similar things like this.
Thank you guys.
Right. Thank you.
I'd like to note that on this last one, it's supposed to be funded by me at some point in the future. So hopefully, right, I keep in your guys' favor and we can make that happen one day. So thank you for having us tonight.
Thank you again for sharing your great group and your great ideas with us tonight. Thank
And
you.
I would just also like to thank you, Jesse, and for everyone for being here tonight, and remind the board where this fits also with our Portrait of a Muskie graduate and all of the work that we're doing with that. Jesse mentioned some of those data points. We had a post-secondary enrollment report with MCC and some local districts. We also work with Aligned Impact Muscatine. And I think I shared with you, in our AEA region, Muscatine High School was really the only one that saw post-secondary enrollment growth from over the last 2 years. And so as a district, I think we're at 66%. Our Latin population has increased significantly. Our EL population also went from 40% to 60%. And again, that's a credit to the program and to multiple layers of things that we're doing across the community that's having an impact. So we are very thankful to have the partners that we do that are really helping move the needle for our students, provide opportunities. And it's those things we don't think about, like a FAFSA form. And people haven't done it. It's intimidating, but you can't access scholarships unless you do that. And so it is, for many people, that is a barrier and something our counselors focus on quite a bit. So the more we can get those kind of resources for our students and families, the better. So thanks for all your efforts in that.
Thank you, guys. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great presentation. Thank you. Okay, our next item is the possible action. The following items are considered to be routine by the Board of Education and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a director so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence from the agenda. The items are minutes, bills and claims, employment recommendations, contract with college community, 2022-2025 EICC video agreement, Unity Point at Home service agreement, interfund transfers, third and final reading on policies. What are the wishes of the board?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Okay, motion carried. Next item on our agenda is to approve resolution fixing date for a hearing on the proposed insurance of approximately $32 million school infrastructure sales, services, and use tax revenue bonds. What are the wishes of the board?
I'll make the motion to approve. Read it right here.
So we have motion
Second. Okay.
and second. Any discussion before, Madam Secretary, we can have, please, roll call vote?
And I'll just jump in here briefly. So again, all you're doing tonight is setting the hearing for August. At that night, we'll have the hearing. There'll be another item for your approval. You'll notice the number is higher than what we talked about, and they always require that. They do more than that. We're not going to bond out that much, but that's the capacity of what we can do, and so it gives you a little bit of flexibility. You also have a separate one that you'll be going to, and that's because of all of those projects, some of them are related to athletics, and any athletic facilities have to have a separate hearing from the rest. It's still all included in that, so we have to do one for just the athletics, and then we do one for overall.
And Clint, just to clarify, this $32 million will have no effect on any of the property taxes.
This is all save 1% sales tax has to be used for facility and capital projects. We can't use it to pay salaries or benefits and those other things.
No curriculum, nothing
So
like that?
this is what it was designed to do, and again, this would allow us to borrow out to 2030.
So this is the 1 cent sales tax that's guaranteed to us.
It's actually-
future dollars from the state.
The
Do we know how
legislature-
long the legislators?
Legislature has approved save revenue out till 2050.
So
We have a revenue purpose statement that says how we're going to spend those dollars, and that was approved through 2030. So we can do another revenue purpose statement that will extend that, but that has to be on a general school board election. So something we can look at putting on when we have our next school board election, having that on there. And it just says, it'll be the same language as basically what we have now. It just says we're going to extend that through the 2050 period.
And just to clarify, these dollars can only be used on facilities in the future. And is there any indication that in the future it will be cheaper to build things than right now?
There is no indication
Okay.
of that. In fact, talking with, so we use Ehlers and Cooney to help put all the language together, make sure we're following that's our attorneys that we use out of Des Moines. And just in the last 12 months, they mentioned a project, I believe that it was $16 million last September. Today would be worth 12, just because of the cost, the increase in construction costs, the increase in the cost to borrow money has gone up. So you have less capacity. So as those interest rates go up, your capacity to borrow gets smaller.
And my last question, is this something that's done throughout the state by other schools,
Yes.
districts, specifically bigger schools?
Yes.
So it's not anything new to the state?
No.
All right. Thank you.
Any other clarification or question? Okay, if not, Madam Secretary, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Director Conard. Director Cooney.
Here.
Director DeBeat.
Aye.
Director LaRue.
Aye.
Director Morgan.
Aye.
Director Phillips.
Aye.
Director Shore.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Motion carried. Okay, moving forward, we move to next item, approve resolution fixing the date for a public hearing on the proposed use of SAVE revenue for athletic facility infrastructure project. Same thing, do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the resolution fixing date for the public hearing on the proposed use of SAVE revenue for athletic facilities infrastructure projects.
I'll second that.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. I assume the explanation is the same. What applies to item J and K will be the same. These two items will be next month on next month agenda. So with that, unless someone have any clarification question, if not, I will call on Madam Secretary. Can we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Director Cooney.
Aye.
Director DeBeat.
Aye.
Director LaRue.
Aye.
Director Morgan.
Aye.
Director Phillips.
Aye.
And Director Shore.
Aye.
Thank you. With that, we move into our discussion and information part of the agenda. And item A, review administration regulations and electronic forms. And we have only one item under that, which is 403.4E1, which will be a new item. Hepatitis B vaccine information and record. Anybody have any clarification for Clint, since it's administrative regulations, not board policy? But do we have any question for that? Okay, Clint, do you have anything for that? Okay, thank you. With that, we move to May 2022 financials, and all yours, Tom.
So tonight, we're presenting the May financials. And you'll see on our schedule, the next report will be September on the FY22 financials. So over the next 2 months, month and a half, 2 months, we'll be closing our fiscal year, obviously, which ended June 30th. And so we'll be preparing for our certified annual report, special ed supplement, and annual transportation report that's due September 15th. and then we'll be reporting preliminary fiscal year-end numbers next month, and then pretty much close to the numbers we're reporting back in September. So your May deposit balances are shown on the second page, and you can see our deposit balance is reconciled to our book balance. And then we have our revenue and expenditures, fund financial summaries. Again, I think the thing to be able to compare is where we're at year-to-date in revenues and expenditures compared to last year, and that our fund balances are all positive. And again, those will be, updated next month for the end of fiscal year. Our published budget compared to actual, if you remember, in May it was that we amended our budget. So if we compare that to those items that are gray, those 4 functional categories is what we have to stay within. That amending our budget, we're still within. A good chunk of our expenditures will come through these last 2 months. So when we start our fiscal year-end process. The last 2 documents are the general fund only revenues and expenditures. I think it's important to look at where we're at year-to-date in those different local, state, and federal categories. Obviously, federal is a little behind because we have to make those expenditures before we get reimbursement, and that process is starting here for the last quarter of the fiscal year. So, and then expenditures, I have no additional comment, but we're still within our estimated or our line item budget. So that's it for May.
Thank you, Tom. Any question for Tom? Thank you. Moving forward, we move into the announcements, meetings, and event as part of our agenda items. July 11, 2022, which is today, online registrations open. So I'm planning to register my kids after the meeting tonight, so that I don't forget about it. So please do that as soon as possible. We encourage you all to do that. It's very basic, simple process. And if anybody have any question, I'm sure in each building there will be people that will help you in the process in case if you have any question. Next thing is no food pantry in July for this month. August 8, 2022, we go back to the school board community conversation at 6 o'clock, an hour before our school board meeting here at the lower level city hall. So it will be in this building, but at the lower level. At least 2 board members will be there to listen and hear any question that any of you might have. August 8th, the same day at 7 o'clock, we'll have our regular board meeting here at the City Chamber. And August 9, 2022, the Riverbend Mobile Food Pantry from 4:30 to 6 at the Administration Center. Any other announcement anybody might have?
July 12th, tomorrow. Did you read this softball, girls?
July 12th.
It is on the agenda. I just thought you skipped it.
Oh,
Did I
I'm
space
sorry.
out?
Good luck to the Muskie girls tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on their trip to
Thank
state.
you.
On their
Yeah, I'd like to just
Hopefully.
also mention that, we have an agreement with the city as far as, using Diamond 4. And I'd just like to commend Jeff Limberg and his staff for the quality work that they've done over this year, and particularly on Saturday night. They had a tremendous crowd down there because they were running an ASA tournament. Wilton came down and played because they got rained out the day before, and so we had 2 high school games on Diamond 4, and there was just a tremendous crowd. Parking was at a premium, and I thought that their Kent Stein group did a great job of maintaining the fields, coming in and doing a good job for that. And if you haven't seen our girls play, they're very talented. So if you can get down there and watch them play, it's a talented group, and if they play their game, they can get to the state tournament and hopefully win it all.
Thank you, Denny. Anything else? Well, if there's nothing else, can we have a motion to adjourn, please?
I'll make the motion.
We're echoing today. You can make the motion.
Okay.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor to adjourn, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Well, thank